If you have never met a malignant narcissist or someone of a dark triad personality, then you should go right ahead and consider yourself to be one of the lucky ones, as this charismatic, endearing, downright likable, humble human charade doesn't exactly have a very long shelf life. And as such, it is not uncommon for these individuals to have a long-standing list of unsuccessful relationships where they have either cut off or been cut off by those you would consider to be significant people in their lives, yet often are very well liked amongst casual acquaintances and typically have good standing within the community. But just as the term dark triad sounds like it could be the title of a new horror flick where Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Michael Myers get together and have themselves a little rendezvous, terrorizing your dreams and becoming your worst nightmare, as do these individuals do to your life. That though these terms, dark triad, malignant narcissist, or just narcissist in general, seem to be more prevalent and brought up over the past few decades, it is not something that has just come about or recognized amongst mankind. Oh, hell no. This has been seen in individuals for centuries. Stories dating back hundreds and thousands of years ago, people describing others behaving like serpents and who bestow onto others insidious cruelties and inhumane treatments. Thousands upon thousands of songs that too date back centuries to that of the current present. The lyrics of these songs describing their encounters with these individuals, from their sense of entitlement to their deliberate means of deception and manipulation, having a total disregard for others' feelings and well-being, as well as the struggles and emotional turmoil that it creates for those on the receiving hand of their ill treatments, the devastation that it creates for their lives, and the madness that it leaves you reeling in, with many of them making the top hit list, ones that most know and can sing along with, word by word, as well as all of the documentaries, crime scene investigation series, and TV shows that too are describing these very individuals, many to which don't make mention of their having narcissism, psychopathy, or are that of a dark triad, largely due to the fact that most of these individuals have not been diagnosed because, well, most aren't, in an effort of not coming off judgmental, as many see it as being, that gets overlooked, unnoticed, or not even picked up on by many, that this is exactly the type of people that these shows are referring, and that the reality of it is individuals like Dahmer, Bundy, and Hitler, though maybe extreme in the sense of numbers as well as the time frame that they were able to get away with the things that they did, but that too has direct correlation to the differences in technological advances, the information that we're able to obtain from crime scenes, DNA evidence confirmation, GPS tracking systems, cell phone records, etc., that may decrease the amount or number that individuals are getting away with these crimes, but by no means are they extreme, and the behavior and mindset from these TV series, documentaries, and shows that we watch to that, like Dahmer, Bundy, and Hitler, repeatedly doing these things to not only strangers, but individuals within their immediate families, their spouses, their parents, their siblings, their children, or those that they have deliberately lured in, and getting them to become dependent upon them through means of psychological torture, manipulation, and brainwashing them to feel like they need them, using emotional blackmail to get them to do their dirty work, taking advantage of them, destroying their lives, along with those that not only then murder these individuals, but are dismembering their bodies, then tossing their bodies aside like they are nothing more than a piece of garbage, and on to the next, to do the same thing to another. And yet, with all of this information that we have at the touch of fingertips, and hundreds of individuals coming forward, speaking out about the things they have gone through, news headlines, broadcasting and talking about mass suicides amongst cults and terrorists. Yet we continue to keep our heads buried in the sand, convinced that evil doesn't really exist in human form, or that these individuals are so few and far between that there ain't no chance in hell that you're ever going to tango with them. And you see, that's the thing that makes these individuals so dangerous, is not just that they're difficult to spot, but more so in that they have a remarkable ability of making it hard for anyone to not feel naturally drawn to them, whether it be in the form of thinking you have just found yourself a glamorous new friend, the best neighbor that anyone could ever ask for, the very person for the job that will help take your company to the top, or as if your soulmate has just fell into your lap, hand delivered to you from the heavens above, as this initial persona is equally alluring regardless of the nature or context of it. Nor does one's risk for getting lured in become greater or lesser. You have a strong sense of emotional intelligence, the confidence of a peacock, or are vulnerable due to some recent wound or unresolved trauma from the past. Because these individuals are masters at seducing your mind with their savvy but lethal concoction of confidence, prestige, intellect, and swagger, perfectly balanced out with kindness, compassion, attentiveness, toying with your mind like you have just been served the most potent cocktail you have ever had, to the point of it having such an intense chemical effect on one that the moment this cocktail touches your tongue, you're all like, hot damn, I'll take one of them to go, please. Largely due to the way that they have meticulously, specially handcrafted this persona just for you, presenting themselves in a way to mesmerize and alter your perceptions like wearing some kind of kaleidoscope glasses, to intentionally keep you unaware of the fact that they have been blindly guiding you back to their layer of unfun, chaos, and torture. And by the time that you discover that the tiny rainbows of color are really coming from the reflection of the teeniest little sliver of sunlight that's now bouncing off of the scales of the snakes slithering about, who are now trapped in their snake pit with no apparent exit or means for an escape, as these poisonous snakes have you so surrounded that whatever direction you try to go in, you are bound to get too close that would potentially cause one of these slithering serpents to strike, which is precisely where they need you to be so that they can begin gaining control and eventually getting you to become dependent upon them. Bit by bit, they become more malevolent, malicious, deceitful, and cruel, even after you realize these individuals aren't really any kind of snake charmer, but that they were the only fucking snake in this horrific situation, which for many taking years and decades to even get to this point, yet have chipped away at your self-esteem, sense of worth, completely wiped out any other support system that you ever had, have you so financially fucked that if you tried to go anywhere, you wouldn't have a pot to piss in or a window to chuck it out of, not to mention the trauma bond, brainwashing, and deliberately getting you to the point of feeling hopeless and helpless, that even if you could find an escape, well, there would be no point in trying to attempt it because you have nowhere to go. And the number one reason why getting awareness out there and spreading the truth about these individuals' true nature and the fact that these monsters are real is so important, because one of the biggest wishes that you will ever hear from a survivor is that they wish they had known then what they do now, because it could have potentially spared them some of the pain, not to mention years off of their life. It does not matter how hard you try, how much compassion you give, or how unconditional love that you show. It will never be enough, nor will it change the outcome or behaviors of these individuals, because they do not give but a single fuck about anyone else except for them and their delusional ideations of power and grandeur, to which there is no cure for, nor do they have any desire to change, because these individuals are ego satanic and they do not see themselves as being a problem. They know that they're hurting you. They know what they're doing is wrong. They get social norms. They know what others view as acceptable and what's not, which is why they have their knack down and perfectly timed just when, where they need to throw their likable human getup on, and when they can brain fuck you into the pavement. And the more they get away with it, the more evil they become, as it boosts their confidence. And with their ability now to get supply and con others at the touch of their fingertips, these individuals are more dangerous than ever. And though majority of them are not out dismembering others or murdering individuals, that does not mean that they do not 100% have the potential to do so. And just because there's not a cure for them does not mean that there is no antidote to their evil, to which is none other than awareness. Because what makes for the biggest risk of these individuals to be able to sink their claws into you is by not knowing what they do or recognize that they're trying to manipulate you. And is so important for survivors to keep coming forward, speaking your truth, and trying to get awareness about their true colors out there. Even if your story just spares one other, well, that right there is worth it. These individuals are truly pure evil in human form, and no one deserves what they bestow. So fight for you, save you. Fuck the narcissist.